Hello. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I wanted to make this video because I've been struggling with the fact of just being. Now, being a gym girly and doing weightlifting and having lofty goals, or big, I should say, I don't really like to phrase it like that, but like bigger goals in bodybuilding and weightlifting, I feel like this is a very hard state for us girls to be in when we're in that state, or anybody for that matter, if we're talking about someone who is really into something in like a sporty way, I guess, or even just your health and fitness. Now, not putting the health and fitness part off to the side, I feel like it is very hard though to master the mental part when you're so caught up in the actual physical part. And that's something that I've been learning recently. Now, one of the things that was very damaging for me in my weight loss and fitness journey is that when it came to taking care of my mental health, I always associated it with, oh, I did this, or I'm going to be relaxing, so let me go get this snack, or something like that. And kind of associated it with food. So I feel like that's something that I wanted to touch upon today with the concept of just like letting yourself be. It's more of like a boredom factor. I feel like that you automatically kind of think like, oh, I need a pair of food with sitting by myself, like watching TV. I'm stumbling over my words today, so just bear with me. But yeah, pairing food with things was a really bad habit I had when it came to taking care of like myself mentally, not so much physically. So, one of the things that I will say aids in my comfy, cozy eras in life is probably going to be watching some sort of like slice of life anime because I'm really into anime. But like comfy shows like that, I know some people love watching like comfy YouTubes or playing little cozy games, And I feel like that stuff is awesome and it is great for your mental health to take a break and just do something for once that doesn't involve making progress in some way, because I feel like, especially being a gym girl, I definitely know that we can get very caught and swept up in making the progress in life all the time. That sort of grind hustle culture. And, there's no better time to point out some of the pros and cons of that than going into summer as a gym girl. Yikes. Going into summer as a gym girl, you have like all of society pressing that you need to have a slim waist by summer. Don't even get me started on this. I feel like this is so damaging. Now, I don't feel like it's unhealthy to want to cut some weight off by summer, but in no means am I sitting there telling myself I need to go on a fast diet to get that weight off. Because guess what? If I'm already on a sustainable path to lose weight, as in body recomp or something like that, what help is it going to be to fall back into a diet culture self that I was before that was truly just damaging for me to slim down by summer? Like, no, I feel fully believe in putting more drive towards going to the gym, making sure you're showing up consistently, eating healthier. Those kind of moves to slim down by summer, I am not shaming at all. We're going to put these over there in the safe pile because I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about, oh my god, the TikTok cutting drink. Whew. Like, you got me, give me a few minutes to ramble on that. So I'm not going to do that in this video, but them pushing videos like that in my face and, the stuff like, basically, I guess what I'm trying to say is like not eating. That's a big thing that I do not feel like I promote for cutting weight by summer. Not eating is not going to get you to the place where you want to be. Trust me. It may give you a little smaller of a waist to some extent because your body eventually starts preserving like all those carbs and like fat already on your body as a sense of like starvation preservation. That was big, but you know what I'm saying? It starts holding on to fat because you're cutting them down too much, your nutrition. But it's like, I don't think you need or should stop eating for summer. what are we going to do when summer gets here? You know, we're going to start eating again. We're going to start having fun, partying, as you should during summer. But we're also going to be like still wanting to be mindful not to gain a bunch of weight back during summer. Because let's be honest, you could gain a lot of weight back in just a month of having summer. So realistically, wouldn't it be better to say that, you know, a healthy, sustainable diet where you're treating food the right way would be the one that gets you more luck for summer? Now, like I said, there is sort of things like cutting and everything for competitive athletes and people who are really into bodybuilding, and I'm not shaming that at all. But what I am saying is like, food is supposed to be our friend. As a bodybuilder myself and a weightlifter, food is my friend. I'm not sitting here trying to shame myself away from food. Can I shame myself into a healthier diet? Yes. But I kind of crave those things already when I'm already building a healthy relationship with food. I'm going to want Whole Foods more over McDonald's or fast foods or something, you know? Even when I'm out doing my things during the summer, I'm going to pick the fruit instead, you know, and that's not always going to be the vibe, which I do love me a popsicle and some ice cream during the summer. So I'm not going to turn myself away from that. But in creating healthier habits before summer, you're going to automatically be setting yourself up for better success through summer and going into winter, which, let's all be honest with ourselves, is the hardest time to not put on weight. Going through fall, Halloween, winter, all of these holidays that we have stacked up in a row is usually a losing situation for us for weight loss. And I feel like sustainably keeping yourself consistent throughout the year, as we do in the gym, does us much better if you think about it, and sets us up for more success when we do that through the summer too. So like I said, there's no harm in cutting a little bit of weight off before summer, but maybe that just means you really think about consciously what you're consuming before summer. Maybe if you've let yourself consume a little more sweets and sugar over the winter, we start thinking more about whole foods and replacing them with fruit and everything before summer, instead of these cutting drinks and every other fast dieting hack that we want to throw at ourselves. Fasting, blah, 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 you know, all those big things, cutting out carbs, which are definitely our energy for the gym, not the way to go. And this is something that I am learning myself. You know, when I sit here and tell myself that I can only eat so much and blah, 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 and yes, I do my macros and everything, but I realized with how much I was training in the gym, going there 5 to 6 days a week and having like pretty active rest days, I am not going to want to throw myself like totally off carbs or whatever. I'm not going to want to throw my body into this life where it doesn't have enough nutrients to compensate for my working out. And hopefully you're going to the gym and really putting all the effort into the gym if you're spending your time in the gym, going till failure and like doing things that actually build muscle in the gym. And that is going to need nutrients. So, you know, it's not bad to cut back a little on your macros before summer, but let's not go to a 1,500 calorie deficit and then think, yeah, I'm gonna like lose a bunch for summer and then eventually gain it all back and then beat yourself down in shame because halfway through the summer, you're already back to where you started before. It's not the funnest ride to go on, and trust me, I've buckled myself into that ride quite a few times. So anyways, this is me telling you the state of just being consistent throughout the year definitely helps. And one of the biggest things I feel like we can put into that to help us stay consistent and eat healthy throughout the year instead of just going on a binge diet is our mental state and realizing that we have these patterns in the first place. Now, if we're constantly busy going to the gym, figuring out our macros, blah, 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 all these things are great to do, but you're not really putting any effort mentally into how do I feel mentally about these choices I'm making? Are we taking time to just sit down and ask ourselves, is this what I want to do before summer? Like, what do I actually want to get to? And not just looking at someone on the internet and being like, yeah, I want to get there by summer. And they're a completely different person. So we can't really evaluate our life off of them, you know? And I feel like that's something that being mentally conscious really helps with. Now, I'm not telling you to go on an intuitive diet or whatever, but what I am making you aware of is that everybody has their own body, and one of the things that will help you the most is staying in tune with yours mentally. So if you've been eating a pretty healthy diet and you've been including more carbs or whatnot, I want you to take a second to evaluate maybe how that diet is treating you after like a week or two. Have you noticed any changes in your body? Have you noticed anything mentally where you're more overwhelmed, or you feel like your mind is more clear, or you feel like maybe it's not your diet, maybe I need to add more electrolytes or something like that. Being mentally aware of what is going on with your body is also very helpful before summer. And I feel like everybody wants to throw that shit out the window before summer, just focusing on the food and the exercise and everything. But what you really do need to focus on also is like your mental state. Are you being driven like crazy with all the stuff and information you're throwing at yourself to get to that place by summer? Are you overwhelming yourself with focusing too much on your nutrition? Yes, you do want to because it's healthy, but you can obsess over these things. Trust me, I've been there. Obsess over these things to the point where mentally you go into summer not even enjoying summer in the first place because you're still stressing about how much you're eating. And are you going to be able to truly snap out of that mentally by summer? Most of the time, I wasn't able to. So a little PSA on that, on what my thoughts and past experiences were. But I feel like there's things we genuinely do need to do to slow down before summer and kind of evaluate. Take like a day out of your week, probably, I would say, and just relax. Just take a day to relax. Do something, like I said, that doesn't involve productivity in your life, and sit back for a second. It doesn't have to be rush, 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 go, 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 hustle, grind before summer. One of the things that is also very important about, especially if you're a weightlifter or bodybuilder, is rest. If not, you're really running yourself ragged. You aren't even giving your muscles time to recuperate before workouts and on rest days. If you're still being super active on rest days and you're not getting the right amount of sleep, you're hustling and grinding late at night, is your body even getting enough rest to recuperate and build the muscle or whatever your goals are for weight loss? Is it even being able to take a minute and reconstruct itself? That's very important, especially for muscle building, which I feel like most of you watching this are going to be in the gym weightlifting. So yes, rest is so important. And it doesn't mean you can't have an active rest day, but it definitely means that you should be taking some time to sit down and relax. Now, don't overdo it. Definitely go out and walk around and get some sun and everything. But like I said, taking a little bit of time to play a cozy game or watch a little slice of life anime, or even a day to like binge on the couch your favorite TV show, is not going to put you behind. It's not going to not make you lean for summer. It's just going to give yourself some much needed rest up here and right here. So that's something to consider as we're going into Lean is Law summer. And yeah, I don't have anything against doing it healthily, but I just wanted to make this video because I myself had a lot of experience in that kind of dieting field and weight loss field. And it's something that I am currently telling myself, no, we're not going back to. We're going to keep being consistent. You don't need to have your bikini body by summer, especially if in a year you've already made so much progress and lost 73 pounds being consistent and you were still able to be happy last summer. That is okay. The real thing is if you are still putting in the effort and consistency, that is going to get you there in the long run. Guys, it might take you a little longer to get there. It might be the next summer that you are really, really locked in and you have the body you want and all that jazz. But I'm just saying, you don't have to be in such a hurry to get there, to the point that you throw yourself off where you're at right now and all the progress you've made, And definitely, like I said, a big stressing thing in this video is please give your body the food it needs if you're training, give it what it needs. And that's something that I'm learning right now too. It's like so easy to look in the mirror and see all the fat that needs to come off on the scale and in the mirror and think, yes, taking food away from this will help. That's how we're trained. But if you're putting in consistent effort in the gym and you're working out hard and consistent, you are just starving your body of nutrients. And yes, you want to make sure, like I said, you're eating clean. But this is my little reminder. I am not a professional in this field at all. I'm just giving you my thoughts and learning from my old life habits and bad habits in life that I had before that was keeping me at about 230 pounds, which I am now down to about 265, I think. Guys, I don't go on the scale that much. That's a whole nother thing for another day. But yeah, I focus more on bodybuilding and muscle mass. So that's more of what I'm doing, like a recomp. And I feel like that's what people are going to be doing who are watching this video. But yeah, I just wanted to take a second and drag you aside to tell you that you do not need to do all these extreme things to get that body by summer. And please make sure you're keeping yourself consistent on what has been working for you so far. Don't put so much pressure on yourself to be skinny for summer that you are ruining all the progress you've made. So I just hope you take all the love and the advice away from this video. Take what you need and leave what you don't, because everybody's journey is different and I totally understand that. But yes, what motivates you, And I am definitely one that does get motivated by thinking of the body that I want by summer. But that doesn't mean that I should be sitting here thinking that I need to take things away from my body and make my body something that it isn't right now. And that I can't be happy if I get to summer and I'm still at where I'm at right now or only made a little bit of progress. Because you still can be happy, and keeping happiness throughout your journey is going to be something that's going to get you way farther in your journey than you could ever imagine, rather than being harsh, putting guilt on yourself, and all those other yucky things that we don't want to do. So take this with you. Like I said, leave whatever doesn't resonate with you. This is just my little story, my little breakdown of the mindset I'm bringing into summer. And I hope you guys have a great summer. I hope you go through summer and genuinely do get the body you want and keep working towards it. And I hope you're feeling great about yourself most of all, because that's what matters. And I will see you next time. If you like this video, definitely click the subscribe button, because I do a lot of videos like this, everything gym, life, and anime here on Gains and Growing Pains. And come on in and vibe with the community. I will see you guys in the next one.